Okay, so arithmetic instructions. So we are having some of the arithmetic instructions as add. Okay, so the mnemonic itself, they say the operation of the instruction. So add is used for addition. Okay, so addc is nothing but addition with a carry. So subb is subtract with a borrow. Inc is increment. Dec is decrement. Mul is nothing but multiply. Div is for division. DAA, okay, so that decimal adjust accumulator after addition. Okay, so these are some of the arithmetic instructions that we are having in 8051 microcontroller. Okay, so first coming to the add instruction. Okay, so we are having the format ADD is the opcode followed with the operands. The first operand is always the destination operand, and the second operand is going to be the source operand. Okay, so here the destination is nothing but in the addition operation, the destination is always going to be the A register. Okay, so the destination is going to be the A register, and the source can be anything. It can be an immediate data, it can be a content of some register, it can be the direct address or the direct address. So where the data is present in some RAM location. Okay, or it can be the the data can be specified in the indirect way. Okay, so where the data is present in some memory location and the address of the memory location is specified by the register RI, where RI can be R0 and R1. Okay, so here add a comma source byte. So as the addition operation is carried on the contents of the accumulator. Okay, so the contents of the accumulator is added with the contents of the source byte, and the result is stored back in the accumulator. Okay, so for all the addition instruction, the destination is always the accumulator register. Okay, so the content of the register A is added with the content of the source byte, and the result is stored back in the register A. Okay, so here, so whenever I carry out the addition operation, the flags, we are having 4 mathematical flags in 8051. Okay, so all the flags are affected: the carry flag, the auxiliary carry flag, the overflow flag, and the parity flag. All the flags are affected whenever we carry out the addition operation, so using the add instruction. Okay, so some of the variations of the add instruction, since I've specified it as a source byte. Okay, so some of the variations of the add instruction is nothing but I can have add a comma hash data, something like this. Okay, so add a comma hash 23. So is nothing but the content of register A is added with the data 23H, and the result is stored back in A. Okay, so the content of register A, so it is added with the data 23H, and the result is stored back in the register A. Okay, so I can have like add. Okay, so A destination is always A. Okay, add A comma R1. Any register I can specify from R0 to R1, R0 to R7. So here, so the content of register A is added with the register R1, and the result is stored back in the register A. Okay, so otherwise I can have add A comma. Okay, so directly I'll give 58H. So is nothing but here, so the content of register A is added with the content of the memory location 58H, and the result is stored back in A. This is the direct addressing. Okay, so the content of register A is added with the contents of the memory location 58. Okay, and the result is stored back in A. Okay, so next I'm having add A comma at Ri. Ri can be R0 or R1. Okay, so here the content of the register A, okay, so is added with the contents of the memory location whose address is specified in R0. Okay, so it is added with the content of the memory location whose address is specified in R0. Okay, so the content of register A is added with the content of the memory location whose address is specified in R0, and the result is stored back in register A. So for all these instructions, okay, so for all these instructions, so all the flags are going to be affected, like carry, auxiliary carry, overflow, and the parity flag. Okay, so this is for the add instruction. Okay, so here, okay, fine. We are having one more instruction called as add with the carry instruction. Okay, ADDC. So add the content of the accumulator with the source byte and the carry, store the result back in the accumulator. So this instruction says that add with the carry, ADDC is nothing but add with the carry, the content of the register A is added with the source byte and also with the carry, and the result is stored back in the register A. It is similar to the add instruction, but I'm adding the carry with the source byte. Okay, so here also the flags affected, all the flags are going to be affected: carry, auxiliary carry, overflow, and the parity. All the flags are going to be affected. Okay, so again here, similar to your like general similar to your add instruction, the source byte, it can be specified using the immediate addressing mode, where I'm having the instruction like ADDC A comma hash data. So here I can specify any 8-bit data. Okay, so in that case, the content of the register A, so plus data plus the carry is added, and the result is stored back in the register A. Okay, so the content of the register A plus the immediate data, okay, is added with the carry, and the result is stored back in A. So otherwise I can have the instruction like ADDC A comma RN. Okay, so this is the register addressing. This is the immediate addressing mode. Whenever I'm having hash, it is the immediate addressing mode. Whenever I'm having only registers A comma RN, something like that, it is the register addressing mode. So here the content of register A is added with the register RN. RN is nothing but the register bank register, which can take the value from R0 to R7. Okay, so content of register A is added with the content of register RN. So with the carry, so plus C, and the result is stored back in register A. So the source byte can be specified as a direct address. Okay, so here the content of register A is added with the content of the memory location whose address is directly specified in the instruction. Okay, so whatever the address is directly specified in the instruction, so the content of register A is added with that contents and the carry, and the result is stored back in register A. Okay, so whenever I specify the direct address, I'm not using. Once I use the hash, it is the immediate. If no hash is there, so only number is present, then I'm referring to a memory location. Okay, so instead without hash, if a number is present, that number refers to the memory location. Okay, so the content of register A is added with the content of the memory location whose address is specified in the instruction with the carry, and the result is stored back in A. So otherwise I can have the instruction like ADDC A comma HRI. Okay, so where the content of register A is added with the content of the memory location whose address is specified in RI. So when I say RI, it can be either R0 or R1. Only indirect addressing mode, I'll use R0 and R1 register. Whenever I'm using the indirect addressing mode, the @ symbol is used. If I leave this @ symbol, then it becomes the register addressing mode. So if I place the @ symbol, so it means that it is the indirect addressing mode, where the address of the memory location is specified in the register RI. Okay, so the content of register A is added with the content of the memory location whose address is there in the RI with the carry, and the result is stored back in register A. Okay, so already you know the different addressing mode. For each instruction, I can write the instruction in all the addressing modes. Okay, so in all the addressing modes, I'm writing the instruction. So this is add with the carry. So where do you use the add with the carry instruction? Okay, so when you use the add with the carry instruction, so for example, if you want to add the 16-bit, so usually, so microcontroller is a 8-bit, it's having an 8-bit ALU, where the addition is carried out on a 8-bit data. Okay, so source byte should be an 8-bit data, so it cannot be a 16-bit data because accumulator is a 8-bit. Okay, so addition or operation, any operation is carried on the 8-bit data. So for example, if you want to add the two 16-bit numbers, something like this, you are having 2, 3. So two 16-bit numbers you want to add. So hexadecimal number. Okay. So two 16-bit numbers. So since your ALU is 8-bit, accumulator is 8-bit, only 8-bit addition you can carry out. So first what you will do is you will take a lower 8-bit. So you will add 78 with a 92. Okay. So when I add 78 with a 92, so 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay. So 10 in hexadecimal is written as 8. Okay. So 9 plus 7. So what is the value of 9 plus 7? What is 9 plus 7? 9 plus 7 is, hello, Abdul Razak. Hello, is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
16.
ma'am.
So if I add 9 plus 7, what is the value is going to be? So 9 plus is going to be 16. Okay. So since it's the hexadecimal addition, okay. So whenever I'm doing the hexadecimal addition, whenever I want to give a carry, so decimal minus 10 you will do, hexadecimal minus 16. So here I'm going to get 16 minus 16 is 0 here, and I'm going to get as the 1 carry. So is nothing but from lower 8-bit, I'm sending the carry to the next. Whenever I'm doing the addition of the next 8-bit or the higher byte, then I need to add this carry to the higher byte. For that, so here normal add instruction is used for the lower 8-bit. Whenever I'm doing the addition with the higher 8-bit or higher byte, in that case I'll use the instruction like add with the carry. If a carry is generated from the lower byte, so add that to that for the higher byte. Okay, so now 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 1 is 8. So and 5 plus 2 is nothing but it is 7, 8. 7, 8, 0 is going to be my answer. So in such situation, whenever I want to add the number which is more than 8-bit, in that case add with the carry instruction is used. Okay. So if I want to write a small program, the same, if I want to write this program, so I can write it as move a comma, okay, hash 78. So first I want to add 78 with a 92. So move a comma hash 78 h I can say. Okay. So later I can say add a. Okay. So I'll add the contents of a. So with the value 92. Okay. So I can say add a with hash 92h. Okay, so now the content of register A is added with the 92. In the register A, I am having the result as 0A. Okay, so in the register A, I am having the result as 0A. So I want to store the result in some register, because once again I'll use the A register, the content will be lost. So because of which I'll store the result in some register. Okay, I'll store the result of lower 8-bit addition in register R1 by saying move R1 comma A. Okay, so now 0A is stored in the R1 register. So now I want to do the higher byte addition. So what I'll do is I'll say move A comma hash 23. Okay, so 23 is loaded into the register A. Then I'll say add. So now here I'll not use add, I'll use add with the carry. So if at all the carry is generated in the lower 8-bit addition, that should be added. So here I'll use add with the carry a comma, so hash 54 I can write. Okay, so hash 54h. So this is the small program to do a 16-bit addition. Okay, so first I do the 8-bit addition using the instruction add. So then I'll do the next higher 8-bit addition using the instruction add with the carry. Okay, so this is a situation where I'll be using the instruction add with the carry. Okay, any doubt is there? So based on your result, okay, so based on the result, the corresponding carry flags, carry, auxiliary, carry, overflow, and the parity flag will be set. Okay, so carry flag is set whenever there is a carry out from the D7 bit of the result. Whenever there is a carry out from the D7 bit of the result, then the carry flag is set. Okay, so auxiliary carry is set whenever you are having a carry from D3 bit to D4 bit, from lower nibble to upper nibble, then the auxiliary carry flag is set. So overflow flag is set whenever you are having carry into the D7 bit. So from D6 to D7 you are having carry, but no carry out of D7 bit, no carry out of D7 bit. Okay, so from D6 to D7 you are having carry, so there is a carry from D6 to D7, but no carry out of D7. So otherwise no carry out of D6 to D7, so there is no carry from D6 to D7 bit, but there is a carry out of D7 bit. So one of either from D6 to D7 I'm having carry, or out of D7 I'm having a carry. So either of one condition is satisfied, in that case the overflow flag is set. Okay, so overflow flag is basically used whenever I'm doing the signed addition. Okay, so whenever my numbers are represented in the signed arithmetic or signed numbers, so for plus and minus sign I'll use. So in that case, the overflow flag is having the meaning. So the overflow flag says that whatever the result you got is the wrong result. Okay, so overflow flag usually used in case of the signed arithmetic. Okay, so next we are having the parity flag. Parity flag, so based on the result of the register A, the parity of the parity flag is set. Okay, so if the odd number of ones are there, so parity will be equal to 1. So if even number of ones are there, in that case the parity flags will be set to 0. Okay, so when we were discussing about the PSW register, so program status word register, how the different flags are set, we have discussed. Okay, so any doubt is there in add and add with the carry instruction?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so now, so when we come for the subtraction, okay, so we are having SUBB comma source byte. Okay, so it is subtract with borrow. We don't have a normal subtract instruction. No SUB instruction is there in 8051. We don't have a normal SUB instruction. So it is always subtract with the borrow. Okay, so it is always subtract with the borrow. So the content of register A is subtracted. Okay, so the source byte is subtracted from register A, and also the carry flag, and the result is stored in the register A. So it is like A minus source byte minus carry flag. So the result is stored back in the register A. So since I am having subtract with borrow instruction. Okay, so since I am having subtract with borrow instruction, whenever I want to do the normal subtraction, so in that case I should make this carry flag, that is carry or borrow, both means the same. So I should make carry flag as 0. So if I want to use the normal subtract instruction, okay, subtract with a borrow. So when I want to do the subtraction of more than 8-bit number, then I'll go for SUBB instruction. If I want to do the subtraction on the 8-bit numbers, in that case, since I'm not having separate SUB instruction, I should use SUBB instruction only. So because of which, so whenever I'm using the subtract instruction, the carry flag is set to 0. So we are having one instruction like CLC, clear the carry. So I'll use that instruction to clear the carry to 0. So then I can use the instruction as SUBB. Okay, so then I can use the instruction as SUBB. Okay, so this is the subtract with the borrow instruction. Okay, so the subtraction, how the subtraction happens in 8051 is, so the internal hardware is such that, so normally whenever you are doing the subtraction, you will do with the 2's complement format. Okay, so here also the same thing happens. Subtract with a borrow, in subtract with a borrow case, so the content of the register A, so I'll take the content of the register A. Okay, so then minus source byte I should do is nothing but I'll take the 2's complement of the source byte. Okay, so I'll take the 2's complement of the source byte, and then the 2's complement of the source byte is added with the content of the register A, and the result is stored back in the register A. Okay, so the 2's complement of the source byte is added with the content of the register A, and the result is stored back in the register A. Okay, so here in the subtract with borrow instruction, okay, so internally what happens is, after performing the subtract operation, the carry is inverted. So internally what happens is, after it performs the subtract operation like subtraction with a 2's complement, okay, so it will invert the carry, whatever the carry obtained will be inverted. Okay, so whatever the carry is there, the carry obtained will be inverted. inverted. Okay, so that you should keep in mind. Okay, so it will do the internally, the hardware of the 8051 will do the subtraction, so using the 2's complement format. So after it does the subtraction, it will invert the carry flag. Okay, so for example, okay, so for example, if I want to do 53 minus 21, okay, so I want to do the subtraction of 53 minus 21h. Okay, so what I should do? So I don't have SUB instruction, I should use the SUBB instruction. For that, what first instruction what I should use is CLC, clear the carry flag. Okay, so CLC instruction I should use. Then I can write move A with the hash 53h, move A with the hash 53h. Okay, then I can use SUBB, subtract with the borrow. Okay, so A comma hash 21. Okay, so hash 21h. So now what happens? It becomes 53 minus 21. The result is stored back in register A. So what is there in A register? 53. So what is there in A register? 53. So how do I represent 53? So 53 is nothing but it is 0, 1, 0, 1 and 3 is 0, 0, 1, 1. So 21, how do I represent 21? 21 is nothing but it is equal to 0, 0, 1, 0 and 1 is 0, 0, 0, 1. So the subtraction, as I told you, the subtraction is carried out with the 2's complement of the by taking the 2's complement of the subtrahend and adding it with the first number. Okay, so here 21, I'll take the 2's complement is nothing but it becomes 1101 1110. So I'll add 1 to it. So this is the 1's complement. I've taken the 1's complement. I'll add 1 to it, then it becomes the 2's complement. Got it? So subtraction hang ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. So subtraction always carried out by taking the 2's complement. I'll take the 2's complement of the second number and I add it to the first number to get a result of the subtraction. Okay, so here I've taken the 2's complement of the 21 because minus 21 is there. Minus 21 is always represented in a 2's complement. Negative numbers are represented in a 2's complement format. I've taken the 2's complement of the 21. Now I'll add it with the 53. 1 1. Any doubt is there? Please mute the mic. Okay, so subtraction, we were discussing subtraction is carried out with the what? By taking the 2's complement of the second number. Okay. Okay, so now if I add this, okay, so I'll minus 21 is nothing but I'll take the 2's complement of the second number. I'll add it. 1 1 is 0 and 1 carry. 1 1 1 is 1 and 1 carry. 1 1 is 0 and 1 carry. Okay, 1 1 is 0 and 1 carry. 1 1 1 is 0 and 1 carry. And here 1 1 1 is
1 1.
huh? Oh, sorry. So here 1 and 1 carry. Okay, so it is 1 1 1 is 0 and 1 carry. 1 1 is 0 and here 1. So carry out, I'm going to get the carry out as 1. Okay, so 53 minus 21 is nothing but the result should be 32. Okay, so the result is 32. I got the result as 32. So as I told you, internally the hardware, what it does is it inverts the carry. After performing the operation, it inverts the carry. So now the carry flag is going to be, so since the carry flag is inverted, the carry flag is going to be equal to 0. So the result is 32H. Okay. So now, so based on the carry flag, okay, so I can make the assumption. Okay. So if the destination, so if the content of the A register, first A register is the destination. So this is the source. If the destination is greater than the source, in that case the carry flag is equal to 0 and the result is positive. Okay, so if at all I'm having the destination greater than source, then the result is positive and the carry flag is equal to 0. Okay, so actually when we do subtraction, carry flag will be equal to 1, but internally 8051 hardware is such that it inverts the carry. Okay, because of which, so whenever destination is greater than source, in that case the result is positive and carry is equal to 0. Whenever destination is equal to source, in that case carry is also equal to 0, and the result, since destination is equal to source, the result is also equal to 0. Okay, whenever destination is less than source, is nothing but, so first number is less than second number, so I'm going to get the result as negative. In that case the carry flag is set to 1. Okay, so whenever I'm having the negative result, okay, so whenever I'm having the negative result, so in that case the result will be in the 2's complement form. Okay, so result ಯಾವಾಗ negative ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, the result will be in the 2's complement form. To get the actual result, I should check the carry flag. If the carry flag is 1, it indicates that the result is negative. To get the actual result, I should take the 2's complement of the value present in the A register. Okay, so carry flag 1 ಆಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ understood, the result is negative. So the negative result is always represented in the 2's complement format. Okay, so to get the actual result, you should take the 2's complement of the result present in register A and place a minus sign in front. Okay, so you should always remember that in whenever I do the addition and subtraction using bits and all, so in that case binary addition subtraction, in that case always the negative numbers are represented in a 2's complement format. Okay, so this is about the subtract instruction. So similar to as I said you, the source byte can be specified in any way. So I can specify the source byte as in the immediate addressing mode, where I can write subb a comma hash some data. Okay, so here the same thing. So the content of register A minus data minus carry, the result will be stored in A. So or I can specify the source byte in some register, like I'm having the instruction subb A comma rn. So any register, bank register. So it is A minus rn minus carry flag, result is stored back in A. So or I can have subb, so where I specify the RAM location in the instruction. So the data is there in some register. So is nothing but, so the content of the source byte is there in the memory location whose address is 30H. So the content of register A minus the content of the memory location 30H minus carry flag, and the result is stored back in the register A. Okay, so subtract with the borrow. A minus 30 is nothing but here the content of register A minus content of the memory location whose address is specified in the instruction, which is 30H here, minus the carry flag, and the result is stored back in the register A. Okay, so otherwise source byte can be specified using the indirect addressing mode, subb a comma at ri. I can have the instruction like this, at ri. Okay, so here ri can be either r0 or r1, so which means that the content of register A minus the content of the memory location whose address is specified by the RI register. Okay, so minus the carry flag, so result is stored back in the register A. So this is about the subtract with borrow instruction. So subtraction is carried out with the 2's complement format. After carrying out the subtraction, the internal hardware, it inverts the carry. Okay, so based on carry, I can say that whether the destination is greater than source, or the destination is less than source, or destination is equal to source. Okay, so any doubt is there in subtraction with the borrow? Subtraction with the borrow, any doubt is there? So So students,
No,
please
ma'am.
do, please talk. Okay, so always keep in mind, whenever the result is going to be negative, the result will be in the 2's complement format. Okay, so negative result rate is always there in the 2's complement format. Okay, so in binary format, the negative numbers are always represented in the 2's complement format. Okay, so the next instruction is, I'm having the INC instruction. It is nothing but the increment source byte. Okay, source byte, when I say source byte, I'm having different ways of specifying the source byte. Okay, so here whatever the source byte is there, it is incremented by 1, and the result is stored back again in the same source byte. Okay, so here the source byte is incremented by 1 and the result is again stored back in the source byte. So some of the variations of this increment instruction is, I'm having the instruction INCA. So increment the content of register A. So the content of register A is incremented by 1 and again stored back in the register A. So it is the register addressing mode. So I can have increment Rn. So R0 to R7. Okay, so where the content of register Rn is incremented by 1 and again stored back in the register Rn only. Okay, so that is the register addressing mode. So otherwise I can use direct addressing mode. So something some address I'll say, so increment the content of register for increment the content of memory location 48H. In that case, the content of the memory location is obtained. So here directly I don't use hash and increment. I am not having the immediate addressing only. Okay, so if I have not used the hash, so it understood that it is the memory location, the content of the 48 memory location is obtained, and that content is incremented by 1. Increment 48H does not make the result as 49H. Okay, so it will not make the result as 49H. The content of the memory location 48. So what is the content in that memory location is there? So if the content is something like 53, okay, so that is incremented by 1 is nothing but it becomes 54 and again stored in the same memory location 48H. Okay, so the content of that memory location is obtained, it is incremented by 1 and again stored back in the same memory location. So otherwise I can have increment HRI. Okay, so the content of the memory location whose address is specified by R0 or R1 register. Okay, so content of that memory location is fetched, it is incremented by 1, again it is stored back in the same memory location. Okay, so that is the thing. So otherwise I can have increment DPTR. DPTR is a 16-bit register. Okay, so in that case only the content of DPTR is incremented by 1 and it is stored back in the DPTR register. Okay, so whatever the register we are specifying, that is going to be the what source, and also it's going to be the destinations. So whatever the source byte I'm specifying, that is going to be the source byte and also it is the destination. Okay, source and destination both are same. Okay, so I'll just increment the content stored back in the same register. Okay, so each instruction I'm having different I can write the each instruction in different addressing modes. So for each instruction, so we have shown the different addressing modes. Okay, so any doubt is there? Increment instruction, any doubt is there?
No, ma'am.
I don't know, only Ravina will be communicating. Where are others? What others are doing? ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀರೋ ಏನೋ, ನನಗಂತೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, so similar to that, okay, so in increment, so see here, so in addition operation, all the flags are going to be affected, but when I take the increment and the decrement, so no flags are affected. Okay, so no flags are going to be affected. Okay, so decrement, again decrement operation, DEC source byte, so similar to your increment, but here only the content of that source byte is decremented by 1. Okay, so here I can have decrement A, so it is the register addressing mode. Decrement Rn, it is the register addressing mode. Decrement some direct address. Okay, or decrement HRI, so indirect address. So similar to your increment operation, here the content of that source byte is decremented by 1, again stored back in the same destination. Okay, so stored back in the same destination. So here has so you don't have the instruction, so increment or decrement, you see you don't have the instruction like what increment I don't have the instruction like increment hash 29h, something like this. It is not there because 29 increment modi where you want to store. So immediate addressing mode is not used with the increment and the decrement. So increment decrement alle immediate addressing mode illa. And also see here, you are having increment dptr ide, but you don't have a corresponding decrement dptr instruction illa. If you don't have this decrement dptr instruction, so increment decrement ಗೆ immediate addressing mode ಇಲ್ಲ and increment dptr ಇದೆ, but you don't have the decrement dptr instruction. Okay, fine. So now, so going to the next instruction is the multiplication instruction. So multiplication is nothing but the opcode or the mnemonic is mul, and the operand I'm specifying is ab. Only one variation is there. I don't have different variation. Only one variation, mul ab. Okay, so here, okay, so the content of register a is multiplied with the content of register b. Okay, and the result is stored back in both a and b register. Okay, so the a register is having the lower byte of the result because 8-bit into 8-bit multiplication, so can result in the result having the 16-bit. Okay, so 8-bit into 8-bit multiplication when I do, so the result can be as high as 16-bit, because of which when I multiply 8-bit and with a content of register a with the content of register b, so in that case the result will be stored in both a and b register. So as in the a register I am having lower byte of the result, and in the b register I am having the higher byte of the result. Okay, so only mul ab instruction I am having. So the content of register a is multiplied with the content of register b. Okay, and the result is stored back in both a and b register. The register a is having the lower byte of the result, and register b is having the higher byte of the result. Okay, so here this instruction, so it sets the it affects two flags. Okay, so the flags affected is only two flags, overflow flag and the carry flag are the two flags that are going to be affected. So carry flag is always, whenever I carry out the multiplication instruction, so it is always reset to 0. Okay, so overflow flag is set. Okay, so overflow flag is set to 1 only whenever the result is greater than ff. Okay, so if my result, whenever I multiply two 8-bit number, if the result is more than 8-bit, so in that case the carry flag is set to 1. Okay, so the carry flag is set to 1 if the result is more than 8-bit. So more than 8-bit means if the result is more than FFH, in that case the carry flag is set to 1. Otherwise the sorry, not carry, overflow flag. So otherwise the overflow flag is set to 0. So carry flag is always set to 0. The overflow flag is set to 1 only when the result is greater than, the result value is greater than FFH. In that case, so the overflow flag is set to 1, else the overflow flag is set to 0. Okay, so this is about mul instruction. Okay, so if you do the whenever you want to write a program to multiply two numbers, okay, so I want to multiply, so assume that I want to find the sum of multiplication of 7 into 5. So what I should do? I should do move, because multiply is done on A and B register. So because of which I should do move A comma hash 7. Okay, so then move B comma hash 5. Okay, then I'll write multiply AB. So what will be the result? Result ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? What is the result? Multiply AB ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ result ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ?
35, ma'am.
But 7 into 5, 35 in decimal, but all these operations are carried out in hexadecimal. For me, 7 5 are 35, I'll say. But so when I do it in hexadecimal mode, I'm not going to get it as the 35. So instead of 35, so what is the corresponding hexadecimal value? 16 2s are 32. So the result will be 23 in hex. Okay, so it is 16 to the 32, 32 plus 3 is 35. So the result will be 23 in the hexadecimal. So in the register A I am having 23, in the register B I am having 00, because the result can fit only in the 8-bit register. So the result is there in the A register is 23, B register is 00. Okay, so carry flag, so it's equal to 0 always. So when I take overflow flag, since the result is 23 less than FFH, so because of which the overflow flag is also equal to 0. Okay, so carry flag is equal to 0 and also the overflow flag is equal to 0. Okay, so if you take some big number, okay, so in that case, if you take something like 25H and 78H, you want to multiply. Okay, so when I multiply these two numbers, so the result will be, so you can do in hexadecimal mode multiplication of the two numbers. So the result will be 1158. Okay, so 1158 is going to be the result. If I multiply these two numbers, the result in hexadecimal will be 1158. Okay, so the lower byte of the result is 58 is there in the A register. The higher byte of the result is nothing but 11 is there in the B register. Okay, so here, okay, so here, okay, so carry flag is always set to 0, and now since my result is more than 8-bit, in B register I'm having some data, it is more than 8-bit. In that case, the overflow flag is set to 1. Okay, so in that case, the overflow flag is set to 1. Okay, so multiplication, addition, everything, whatever is there, it is carried out in the hexadecimal mode only. Okay, so for me, it is, I can give the decimal data, but whenever it is stored, it will be the hexadecimal data only. If I remove this 25, okay, so if I remove this H, so for me it is 25 in decimal, but internally that 25 is converted to the hexadecimal and it is stored in the register. Okay, so whenever it is to the microcontroller, whatever the data I'm giving, it will be stored in the hexadecimal only. So instead of 25 is 16 plus 9, 25. So 1 and 9. Okay, so for 25, so when I give like this, so in the A register, what is going to be stored is nothing but 19 is going to be stored. So 25 in decimal, it's equal to 19 in hexadecimal. This is 16 plus 9 is nothing but 25. Okay, so 19 in the hexadecimal. For me, it is decimal, but internally, whenever it is get stored, it will be the hexadecimal data only. Okay, so multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, all in hexadecimal only. Okay, so yeah, if you don't know to do by hand, at least in the calculator, you put it in the hexadecimal mode and do the calculation to see the result. Got it? So this is about the multiplication operation. Okay, so one more instruction we are having, that is the div instruction and decimal adjust accumulator instruction, that we'll see in the next class. Okay, so any doubt is there in today's class?